All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. This lesson is going to be revisiting reincarnation. Okay, yeah, we've done many topics, many videos on this topic, but through the Spirit, I wanted to revisit it, to answer a brother's question, and Lord will and edify. Okay, so, without further ado, we're just going to go right into it. But first, I wanted to get this word reincarnation, as to what it means. Reincarnation, all right, it's a compound word. You have re and you have incarnation or incarnate, as you can see here. And there's a difference between reincarnation and resurrection. As a matter of fact, let me pull a tab on that and let's see what they give us here for resurrection. Oh, damn. That's a long-ass definition. Okay, this is good. This is fine. Let me look up resurrect. All right, let's just get resurrection. Okay, this should be good. Okay, so like I was saying, there's a difference between reincarnation and resurrection. Okay, resurrection is, as you can see here. Let me just read the point. It says, a rising again from the dead. Okay, rise again, appear again. But there's a difference. All right, a revival. Okay, let me look up revival. Okay, because when you resurrect somebody, okay, when you resurrect somebody, you're bringing them back in that same body. All right, like the Lord did to Lazarus. Okay, the person died. Okay, and you brought them back. You resurrected them. You raised them from the dead. Reincarnation is not necessarily raising you from the dead. It's more bringing you back. All right, into another body. Okay, when you resurrect somebody, they come back the same age. They come back the same. Like when Peter brought Tabitha back to life. You know, she was resurrected in the same body, the same spirit, the same body. Okay, the same her. She didn't come back in a new body generations later as a baby. That's reincarnation. All right. It says fact of repeating incarnation. All right. It says from re meaning back. Okay. Like if you say repeat, all right, you're doing it again. Okay. Um re-emerge. Re-import. All right. It's again, 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 or back. It says meaning back or again, incarnation meaning a new embodiment. You see, a new embodiment. When you resurrect somebody, it's in the same body. Reincarnation, all right, is putting them in a new body, all right, a new embodiment, so to speak. Now, it says back again in a new embodiment. What's back again? Your spirit. Okay, it's pretty simple. What reincarnation is your spirit. See, what your body is of your spirit, and then you have the body, the flesh. Okay, the flesh is the vessel or the house for the spirit. All right, when you're dwelling in this dimension, in this realm. Okay, and once you die, your spirit departs from your flesh because it's uninhabitable anymore. See, when your flesh gets damaged beyond repair, your spirit cannot stay in there anymore, so it has to leave. Just like if your house broke down, you'd have to leave your house. Okay, so your spirit then leaves the body and goes to the spirit world because that's the only place it can be if it's not in a body. All right, in order for it to dwell within this realm, the only place it can be is in a body, if not be in the spirit world. So it goes to the spirit world. All right, and the order the Lord said it is that after 3 to 4 generations, that spirit comes back down onto the earth in a new vessel. A new body is created through the act of sex. Okay, and the spirit enters that body, and then you grow all over again. However, your spirit is you. Everything you've been through, it's there. You know, you just don't remember it. Okay, and that'll explain, all right, certain other things as I go into it. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, starting at verse 35. It says, You know what? Let me see this. 34. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me also hold another precept here. Before I forget. Mindful. Let's see what we get from here. Oh, oh man. Okay, this is good. I'll hold this here on deck. All right, so this is Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. After death, okay? For after the death shall the judgment come, because after you die, you go before the judgment seat and you get judged for your actions that you committed while you were alive. When we shall live again, okay? When we shall live again, Salaki, let me put this off. Okay, when we shall live again, okay, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly be declared. Okay, so what does this mean? After you die, you get your judgment, your judgment sentence. But where do you serve out your judgment? Well, let's find that out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Okay, now what's under the sun? The earth. Because when you look up, that's when you see the sun. Okay, the sun is always above you. All right, so the earth is under the sun because the sun is in the earth's firmament and it goes around the earth. Okay, so like Solomon said, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, because once you get your judgment sentence, you come and serve it out on the earth. In the spirit world, you don't feel pain. Okay, so there's no way you can serve out your judgment sentence in the spirit world. If you know you have certain babies that'll be born with Down syndrome, or you might have a child, or you might have somebody that dies at a young age, or dies a very brutal and horrific death, or maybe they're lame. You know, they're lame from birth. Okay, that's not, that's most of the time. All right, it's a judgment for what they did in their previous lives. Okay, that's why you might be like, whoa, it's a baby. Why did the baby have to suffer like that? On the outward appearance, it's a baby, but the spirit inside that baby has been on the earth before and was doing some wickedness. So the Lord, when that individual died in the previous life and they went to the spirit world and they went before the judgment seat, the Lord told them, look, when you go back on the earth again, this is your judgment. So that's why when they came back as a baby again, that was their judgment. And if you don't understand how that works, you might think, well, why do certain people suffer the way they do? The scriptures tell you, let me get it real quick. Job 4, verse 7. All right. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? So whoever perishes, whoever dies, nobody's innocent, you know? So we've all done wrong, and we can all be judged at any point in time for those wrongs. All right. So when certain people go through certain judgments, it's because, it might not have been something they did in this life, but something they did in their previous life. And that's why when you pray for forgiveness, you pray for the Lord to forgive you not only for your sins in this life, but for your sins in your previous life as well. Okay, even Yahushua had to pay for his sins in his previous life. Okay. Um, us only. I'm gonna get that. Himself. Let's see, Lord willing, it pops up. Okay, let me see. Damn, I can't. I know it's in the book of Hebrews. Let me see. Himself. Mm, da, 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 da. Mm. Yep, here it is. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 20. Hmm. Yeah, very, let's see. The whole chapter is good, man, but I just get to the point. All right, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 27. It says, "Who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For he did this once when he offered up himself." Who went and offered up themselves for the sins of everybody? Of why everybody? I'm talking about us. Okay, the nation of Israel, but starting with the elect. Yahushua did that. But it says what? First for his own sins. Ooh. So when the Lord went on the cross, he died for his sins and for ours as well. Because he did commit sins when he was Solomon. He went off. Okay, he went after those other gods. And the Lord had told David that he would basically Solomon would be beaten with the stripes of men if he went off. Now in Solomon's lifetime that didn't happen. However, through the act of what? Reincarnation, okay, he came again and he had to pay for those sins, because one would wonder, okay, the scriptures say that he was without sin. Let me pull that up. Okay. See, this is why you use precept upon precept, and there's a lot of precepts when you go into the topic of reincarnation. Okay. But we'll get a few here. So da, da, da. Oh man, let me see. Or maybe blemish. I have a feeling it might be in the book of Isaiah. Or maybe I'm missing. Okay. All right, this might be a good one. Okay, let's see. This is 1 Peter 1 and 18. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Hamashiach, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. Okay? Why? Because Yahushua didn't sin. When he came as Yahushua upon the earth, he didn't sin. He was perfect. Okay? And that's why he was that perfect sacrifice to go on the cross, because he was without blemish, aka without sin. Okay? But then why does it say here that he went on the cross first for his own sins, but he never sinned as Yahushua? The only way to answer that question is through reincarnation. In a previous life, he did sin. Okay? Moving on, we'll get a couple more precepts. Actually, let me get to what I have here in Maccabees, and then I'll get the rest of these. So this is Second Maccabees chapter 12, starting at verse 41. It says, "All men therefore praising the Lord." Okay. "All men therefore praising the Lord, the righteous judge, who had opened the things that were hid, betook themselves unto prayer and besought him that the sin committed might wholly be put out of remembrance. Besides that, noble Judas exhorted the people to keep themselves from sin, for as much as they saw before their eyes the things that came to pass for the sins of those that were slain. And when he had made a gathering throughout the company of the sum of 2,000 drachms of silver, he sent it to Jerusalem uh, to offer a sin offering, doing therein very well and honestly, in that he was mindful of the resurrection. Okay, for that he had not hoped that they that were slain. Oh, Salakia. For if he had not hoped that they that were slain should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead. Whoa. So you telling me Judas Maccabees, he was a man of the Lord. The Lord sent angels to fight beside this man. So he was definitely a man of the Lord. Okay. And even he knew, okay, that what? There would come a time when the dead would rise again. It says, and also in that he perceived that there was a great favor laid up for those that died godly, and it was an holy and good thought, whereupon he made a reconciliation for the dead, that they might be delivered from sin. Okay, now it says here resurrection. Okay, but if you've already died, clearly those people who he made the sin offering from, they didn't come back from the dead. Okay, but they did come back again in the reincarnation. Okay, so in this sense, we're talking about reincarnation, and that is biblical. A lot of these churches don't even know that. They call themselves preaching the Bible. They don't even know reincarnation is biblical, man. Okay, but it's in the Bible. This is Job chapter 19, verse 25. It says, "For I know that my Redeemer liveth." And who is the Redeemer? Yahushai. Okay, how do we prove that? Well, the scriptures say prove all things. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Um, uh, yeah, Isaiah. You know what? Let me just type it in. Year of my redeemed. I believe it's Isaiah 63. Yep, Isaiah 63 and 4. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Okay, this is who? This is Yahushua speaking when he comes back. So what did Job say? For I know that my Redeemer liveth. Who's the Redeemer? Yahushua. And that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. Well, Isaiah prophesied about that. Okay, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glories in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. When you read in Revelation the 19th chapter, that's talking about Yahushua. Okay? So it says, and though now Job, okay, Job, the time period in which Job lived in was prior to the Yahushua even coming on the scene as Yahushua, let alone his second coming to take over this place. So Job said, what? For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, or shall I see power. Okay, and Yahushua is a power. Okay, it says, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. Do you understand what this means? Okay, Job is saying that he's going to see Yahushua. How is he going to see Yahushua if Job is dead? That's why he said, though after my skin worms destroy this body, because Job died. His body decomposed. It broke down into the earth. Okay, but his spirit, your spirit doesn't die. His spirit went to the spirit world, and he knew that he would be on the earth again in a different body. That's why it says what? Whom I shall see for myself, because it would be the same spirit of Job. All right, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another. Okay, though my reins be consumed within me, because Job understood reincarnation. He knew that when you die, your spirit just comes back in a different body, and it's gonna keep happening. All right, even until like even in the time we're in right now. Okay, everybody on this earth right now has been on this earth many times before. Okay, just because you don't remember it, as the scriptures say, there is no remembrance of former things. Just because you don't remember it does not mean it didn't happen. Okay, but we will get our memory back. Okay, we will get it all back. Moving on, this is oh right, this is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 13. Now this is what Daniel this is what was told to Daniel after that vision he saw. It says, but go thou thy way till the end be. The end, when is the end? Okay, it says, go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. Okay, when is the end of days? Once again, let's get a precept to find that out. Um, Hebrews, I want to say the first chapter. Yep, Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1. All right, it says, God who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. So Paul understood that when Yahushua made his return, that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the last days. And now we are 2,000 plus years later, we are in the end, the last of the last days, the ending of the end. Okay, so what did the Lord tell Daniel? But go thou thy way. He told the same thing to John. But go thou thy way till the end be. Okay, for thou shalt rest, because Daniel was gonna die. Daniel did die, but through reincarnation, Daniel came back. We don't know who he is, but he's back here again. For thou shalt rest, okay, and stand in thy lot at the end of days. What is Daniel's lot? A prophet. That means in the end of days, in the last days, Daniel was going to be here as a prophet. Okay? So that's reincarnation right there, man. Let's get another one. This is Revelation chapter 10, verse 10. Now we understand who wrote the book of Revelation, right? The Apostle John. And we understand when he wrote this. Okay. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And this book represents the scriptures. All right. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. Now this is not literal. Okay. Don't go grab your scriptures and try to chew bite it. No. All right. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And that represents your journey in this truth. When you first hear this word, it's sweet. You're hearing of all these different, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm God's chosen people, I could gain salvation, the kingdom, all it's sweet. But then the patience comes, the tribulation comes, endurance, you know, that's what makes it bitter. It says, verse 11, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. This is what was told to the Apostle John. Okay. Now, the Apostle John was on the island of Patmos. Okay. And he was a very old man. There's no account of the Apostle John leaving that island to go and prophesy before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Okay. So, what does this mean? This means that John was going to come back into reincarnation in the times we're in right now, and he's doing exactly what he did back then, prophesying before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings, just as we're all doing. So yes, John is among us. There are a lot of the prophets of old are among us today. Okay, some are in the spirit world, but some are here. Okay, we don't know who we are, but we know that we are those prophets, and that's by way of reincarnation. Okay, the Lord ain't just creating new people. It's recycled. Our spirits are recycled into different bodies, just like water is recycled into different bottles. All right, it doesn't mean the water is different. This is Malachi chapter. Did I get this already? Okay. Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. It says, "Behold, now once again, when you look at the timeline, the prophet Malachi came many years after the prophet Elijah. Okay, many years. So when Micah said this, Elijah was already dead. Okay, or he had been taken up in a whirlwind, taken to the spirit world, translated, so to speak. Right. So Micah in Micah 4 and 5 it says what? Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Micah is speaking future tense, but this is after Elijah's already dead. It says, and he shall is something in the future, it's future tense, right? And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And he did this when he came back as John, okay? And again, okay? So this is future tense speaking about the prophet Elijah. But there's no account of Elijah coming back as Elijah. But the Lord did say he would send Elijah. Okay? What does that mean? That means through reincarnation, Elijah would have to come back on the earth again to do this, to fulfill this prophecy. Okay? The spirit that was in the body of Elijah got taken up to the spirit world and got brought back in another body, but it's the same spirit. Okay? It's the same spirit. That's how reincarnation works. Your spirit is created, it's put in a body. That body, over a certain period of time, the body becomes uninhabitable. The spirit leaves the body and it comes back again in a new body. And it continues like that and like that and like that. Unfortunately, you don't remember your past. You don't remember your experiences in your old body. But that's how reincarnation works. Because your spirit doesn't die. Your body does. Okay? However, when Yahushua comes back and gives us new bodies, our spirit won't have to leave our body because our body will be inhabitable forever. It'll be a perfect body, you know? So we'll be able to live forever. We'll be able to be immortal. And we will remember our past lives. We'll have knowledge of everything. Okay? So that's what's to come, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, that was a revisiting of reincarnation. Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.